The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. Just for a thought today, I want to use, can you pass a blessing? Look at someone and ask them, can you pass a blessing? Look at someone else and ask them, can you pass a blessing? Now ask yourself, I need to pass a blessing. You may be seated. I want you to know that the decisions we make just don't affect our lives. They affect generations to come. The way you live can make it harder or easier on your children and your grandchildren. The way you live can be a stepping stone for them or a stumbling block that will hold them back in life. The way you live right now, the things you do right now can either help or hinder your generation. See, a lot of times we do things, we think it just only affects us, but it does. It affects everyone around. Take a look at your life. The blessing, the things that you're able to do and not do is a result of someone going before you and clearing a way, making a way. Was a praying mother, a praying grandmother, praying father, or a praying grandfather. Maybe it was an ancestor that prayed from way back that you never have met. And now reaping the blessings. Also negative things that can be passed down that we deal with in our life. Anger, addiction, suicide. See, there's a lot that we pass down that's not positive. Bad behavior. We pass down negativity as well as positive things to our children and to our generations. And they have to deal with these things. And guess what? Some of that stuff didn't start with you. But listen, church, it can stop with you. You can be the one who pushed a family in a new direction. Can you pass a blessing? Can you pass healing, victory onto your family? Yeah, your family might not be doing what you think they should be doing. Maybe your kids not living like you think they should be living. But can you pass a blessing? Can you pass victory? Because when you make mistakes and when you make decisions, because when you make a decision to honor God, when you make a decision to honor God, when you faithful, obedient, kind, and loving, not only will your life be more blessed and fulfilled, but your children, your grandchildren, get accredited for what you do. Did you know that? Every time you do something good, it's credited. It's just like money in the bank. You do something good, it get credited into your account. Get credited into your children's account. They start out empty, but if you do something good, the more you do, the more credited to your account. Some of us, we take everything for ourselves, and our account stay empty for our generation because we selfish and we want everything for ourselves. Just as negative things get passed down from generation to generation, How about the positive thing? Much about generational curse being passed down. How about generation blessings? We say that God keeps an account of everything we do. That means negative and positive. Romans tell us in Romans 14 and 12, say, so then every one of us give himself to God. Everyone going to give an account to God for what you do. Everyone going to give an account. Whether it be good or bad, it's accounted. It's all written down. I know my daughter the other day, she said, that's wrote down. Whatever you do is written down. Because you got to give account for it. Every time you forgave, it was mad. You mad, but you forgave. Still accounted. And when you don't, this your account too. Somebody account look like this. You got just tore up papers. Tore up paper means tore up promise. How many times somebody promised you something in your family and then come through? They pass down those promises, those broken promises, those heartaches. You know what the Bible says? What good son would give his child a stone instead of fish? Some of us get stoned because as parents, we don't care for our children, for our family. Sometimes our family members are going through and we turn our back to our own family members. We don't want to help them. We're giving stones. So in our generations, a lot of us got stones, dad batteries. Yes, batteries in there because some of us, we thought they were going to energize us, support us, encourage us, and yet and still, they didn't encourage us. They tell us what we can't do in life. We tell them we want to do something. They tell us, oh, you'll never be that. Dad batteries, no energy. Okay. Everything get passed down. You don't think so, but it links to your generation. Because you say something negative to your child, then your child will grow up and say something negative to their child, and your grandchild will hear something negative, and your great-grandchild, from generation to generation, you got to be the one to decide, hey, it stops. Instead of passing negativity, I'm going to pass a blessing. I'm going to pass a blessing. Because, see, when you did your best and no one gave you credit, you know how you be working on your job and doing stuff and nobody knows it, and you being kind and nobody knows it, God knows it, and they get credit for it. You still get credit for it. So you worry about man patting you on your back. You worry about man telling you a good job. Worry about the credit that goes to you and your family. That God give you when you do a good job. When you clean up. When you do everything you're supposed to do on your job. When you clean your bedroom at home and your mom don't tell you. God give you credit for that. When you turn down temptation, when you could have cheated but you didn't, you get credit for that. Okay. I'm trying to tell y'all, this passed on blessing is powerful. It's powerful. See what you're doing, you're setting up mercy, grace, favor into your family account. See, I want my grandkids, my kids, and my generation to have an account that's full already. That they start ahead and not behind. I already got full because I keep doing what I know to do. Your grandchildren that haven't been born yet, your great-grandchildren that you will never meet, will be born with a blessing on their life. Born with a favor that didn't do nothing to deserve it. But they born with a favor in their life because they did what was right. Only because you passed a blessing. Not only will you be a blessing, but your generation later, your family will be walking in blessings because you passed the blessing. I don't know about you, but I want my descendants to be great because of me and not in spite of me. You know, some kids become great because in spite of what their parents did for them. in spite of what their family said to them. In spite you there be something, so now I don't want my generation to be great in spite of me. I want it to be great because of me. Okay, somebody gonna get this. Listen, church. Our children have enough things in the world to overcome without negativity added to them. I want them to look back and say they were glad they knew who I was. See, look. Woo. See, there's a story in Genesis, around the 14th chapter. A man named Lot, what was the nephew of Abraham. And these bandits, my grandson like to say bandits, you know. These bandits got Lot and all his men, and they captured him, right? And somehow Abraham heard about this. Even though Lot had left from Abraham, Abraham said, that's still my nephew. So Abraham went and got his men. And they went and tracked these folks down. They chased them. And one night, one time, Abraham surrounded them and went in there and destroyed and got Lot and all his men and everything that the bandits been taken from everybody else and brought it up out of the camp. Now, on their way out the camp, they ran into a king. Melchizedek. Ran into the old king, old Melchiel. I'll call him Melchiel for short. Old Melchiel was standing there. And Abraham said, King, I'm going to give you my tithes. I'm going to give you tithes off of everything we got from these bandits. And the king said, you ain't got it. Abraham said, I know, but I'm going to do it anyway. And gave him a tenth of everything they stole that they got from their camp, right? Now, about 3 generations go on. 5 generations later, you go to Hebrews 7, and it say that Levi paid tithe to old Melchiel. Because it said, the Bible said, because when Abraham paid those tithes to the king, the lungs of Levi was inside of him, so God gave Levi credit for that gift. So when you do great things, when you give, the people that's in your lungs that haven't came yet, get credit. Got credit for that. Got credit for God. I mean, they got some credit. We're going to see how that plays out in a minute. See, because the Bible tells in Malachi, y'all know about Malachi, when it say, bring ye all the tithes to the storehouse, right? That there may be meat in my house. That's what the Lord say, right? And say, then prove me now. What will, said the Lord of hosts, if I would not open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that there be no room to receive. Now, we ain't heard that a lot of times, have we? And God got on to me on that one time. Because every time, I read this, God said, look at it the way I look at it. See, a lot of times when we say he pour out a blessing that we have no room to receive, we think about what we got right now, how much blessing that we're going to have so much blessing right now, right? But what God is saying that he'll pour a blessing out that you can't contain it in this generation. That it flows over to the next generation and the next generation. So if you bring the tithes to his storehouse, if you do what's right by God, then he'll put a blessing that you can't withhold in this generation, that it pour out into the next generation and the next generation. The Bible says into 1,000 generations. You can't hold it. See, God said when you do what's right, when it's hard to do right. That's why he put in Galatians 6 and 9. Let's not be weary of well-doing. Because in due season, you're going to reap. So when it's hard to do right, just do right. Because now you're getting the blessings. And see, and I go back to David. And that's what David meant in Psalm 23. Y'all know about Psalm 23, don't y'all? In Psalm 23, when David say, my cup runneth over. Now, that's a word for you there, runneth. See, when you do what's right, even when it's hard to do, when you do what's right, your cup runneth over. That means it's more than you can hold, so it runs over to your children, and it runs over to your great-grandchildren. It runs to the next generation, and so on. Your cup runs over with blessings that you can contain in this generation. So it runs over. Can y'all pass some blessings? Can y'all pass some blessing? So your children, your grandchildren can have a great start in life. It sounds good when you know your grandparents did something right and someone come up to you and say, he's all right because of your grandchild. Let me tell y'all something. I worked at Coast. It was Trinity when I first started out there. And I didn't know nothing about no welding or nothing like that. Never seen no welder. Didn't know anything. So when you start at Coastal, you got to do a weld test. So I come out there and a man named Lonnie Jones, he was doing the weld test. And Lonnie Jones, he can be some kind of way. If he don't know you, you don't know him. You can take him the wrong way. And so I went up there and I did the weld test. And I messed that thing up. Because I ain't never seen no welder. I was like, how you hold this thing? He was trying to tell me how I messed up. So he goes in there, right? And he's like, well, I don't think I can do nothing with you. I said, what that mean? He said, well, but he didn't know what I was coming there for. I didn't have to take, my job really didn't depend on the weld test, but they wanted me to learn how to weld. He said, well, it depends on what I put on this paper, whether they're going to hire you or not. I said, my grandfather worked there and my uncle. He said, who is that? I said, Charlie Kimmel. Charlie Kimmel? You mean Edward? He said, I don't put pass on your paper. You all right then. If that's your kid. Generations. He didn't know nothing about me, but he knew them. Because there was such a good worker out there that he went on past me, even though I didn't. So it was credited to me. And I remember Red, we call him Red Onion. And he used to talk about working the shipyard all the time. And we didn't know what he was talking about. He talking about cleaning out tanks. We think about little tanks and stuff like that. Now he talking about these big barges. Let me tell you how good this man was. I didn't find out for like 7 years when I started hanging around the quality guys. They was talking about this guy who used to work out here, Edward. They say, somebody called him Onion. I said, yeah, it's my uncle. They say, what? They say, he cleaned the whole side of the ship, 200 feet by himself. It takes 8 to 9 guys on the other side to do what he do at the same amount of time. He wasn't no joke. That's why when I went up there, they said, you all right, so kid to him. And then they said, we know not to play with you because your grandpa Charles didn't let nobody play with him. They said one time somebody touched his ears, and they say it was all over then. So don't touch his ears. Say, you crazy about your ears? I said, that's my nose. But I'm just saying, things are passed down. So they could have been the other way around. Well, we have some people that come out there, and because their kinfolks was out there, they're like, no. No. You secure the who? Woo. We don't do. Then they got disgusted. We're going to take a chance on you. Okay. I'm just trying to tell you, great things get passed down as well as bad things. So can you pass a blessing? But I tell you what, Lonnie Jones became my bestest friend. Oh, man. He been retired almost 2 years now. And what he was doing when I was working there, every morning it rained hard or get cold, he'd call me, tell me, watch the water now, cause don't go the back way, go through Cresthill. The other morning it was cold, he called me the other morning. Didn't he call me? He called me and say, if you're going to work, you don't want to go the back way, Herman. Now, he ain't worked there in 2 years, but he still called every time it get cold, every time it rained in Cresthill to let me know which way to go. That's favor and mercy. You need to do that for your generation. You need to do that for your generations. I'm telling you. So my question is, what have you done that's running over into your generations? Remember, every decision you make get credited to your generation. So when and look hard for you to do the right thing, put out Galatians 6 and 9. And don't get weary of well doing. Every time you know it get hard to do right, Just pull it out because you want to put some credit into your children, into your generation bank. Listen, church. When you faithful, kind, when you keep God first, you have a blessing that you can't contain. What God has in mind is much bigger than what you got in mind. Listen, it's not limited to your generation. It get passed down to future generation. So I'm here to tell somebody how powerful generational blessings are. Remember we talked about Levi? Remember Levi got that blessing? Well, let me tell you about Levi, the rest of the story. Now, Levi had a blessing that he didn't know about, right? And Levi had a sister named Dinah. In the city of Shem, the son of Shem came and defiled Dinah. And Levi heard about it. And his dad and everybody. And so they went and made a deal with Jacob, which is Levi's father. And say, if everybody in your city gets circumcised, then we'll give our daughters to y'all, and y'all can give yours to us, and we'll fellowship together. We'll trade together, we'll do business together, and we'll be like one big city, you know. And all the cities around, everybody can trade with everybody. Well, Levi wasn't having for, no, he didn't foul my sister. He didn't mess with my sister. We ain't going to give nobody no wife. Jacob said, no, this is what we're going to do. I'm the father. Well, Levi was like, well, I'll tell you what, I'm paraphrasing this. Y'all can read it yourself in 34. Genesis 34, 35, 36. And he said, no, we ain't having it. So they all decided to go ahead and go do what they were supposed to do, get circumcised and all that stuff, and ain't going to be kosher, right? Well, Levi said, I don't care what they do. He went and got his brother, and they went in there in that city and killed every man in that city to make sure they got the right one. Every man. So Jacob said, oh, well, now you curse. So Jacob cursed him, right? So now he cursed. The family of Levi, all his descendants are cursed. They ain't nothing now. They at the lowest of the lowest. They nothing. All of a sudden, 5 generations passed, and Moses up on the hill, a sign, and he come down there and made this golden calf, right? Y'all know about the golden calf. And they worshiping the golden calf. And Moses come down mad. Got the tablets of God that's written with the fingertips of God in his arm. And he stopped and he looked and said, who's on the Lord's side? And all the sons of Levi stood up and said, we are. And Moses accounted them blessed. Made them the priests. Because that's where Aaron came out of. All that Abraham did still held over 5 generations later. Even though man cursed him, which is his father, God blessed him before he was born by Abraham. And when God blessed him, somebody do, it don't stop it. So after all these generations, God had let 5 generations pass and brought the Levites right back into place. So, generation blessing overcome the mistakes that you made. Overcome. Don't matter what your mama was, your daddy was, that alcoholic drug. It doesn't matter. Generation blessed overcome all of that. You ain't got to worry about you saying, well, my daddy wasn't. It don't matter what your daddy was or nothing. Doesn't matter if your mama wasn't nothing. Generation blessing overrules all of that. You worry about what people done in your life. What in your life. Because all that is overcome by a generational blessing. Can you pass a blessing? It just passed a blessing. That's all you got to do. Just pass a blessing. Because favor and mercy is attached to every blessing that you pass. Just pass a blessing. Just pass it down for your generations. Your generations. Deuteronomy 7 and 9 say, know there that the Lord, he is God. The faithful God. Covenants, mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. I almost be like James Fortune. I thought somebody ungrateful said something. But I did thought, how? Let me tell you how you can get these credited to your generations. See, when you sing in the choir, sing on the praise team, greet at the door, usher, parking lot attendants, sound, visuals, lights, bathrooms, pick up paper off the floor even though you didn't drop it. Just come to church when you're supposed to come. Being nice to people. Amen. Stop cussing everybody out because you're mad. Stop lying to get away with things. Stop stealing what you want. Stop cheating on your spouse. Behave and do right under your parents. I'm saying all that's accredited. Okay. I'm telling you, it's all accredited to you. Let me tell y'all something. I'm about to get up out of here. You store all these mercies. Let me tell y'all about this man named David. Everybody know David? 305 years after David died, it was a man named Hezekiah. King Hezekiah. And I've been looking at King Hezekiah the wrong way. But let me tell you about this King Hezekiah. Let me tell you about it. King Hezekiah was in a bad predicament. He was in a war. And he was about to lose because these folks had so many people in his army, and he knew he couldn't win. But God took an army and came and killed 185,000 people for him. Then Hezekiah gets sick. The prophet Isaiah went and told him, say, Hezekiah, get your house in order. You about to get up out of here. And the prophet was walking across the courtyard. Hezekiah turned his back to the wall and prayed, and God added 15 years to his life. Because the prophet had to turn back around and go back to Hezekiah and say, God told me he added 15 years to your life. Now, I always stop right there. When I was reading it, I read the rest of it, but I didn't pay no attention to it. But God said, I didn't do it for you, but I did it for my sake because of David's sake. Because David was a man after my own heart, and David is a direct descendant of you. And if I allow what David started to go down because of an army defeated him, then how would David look? What they'll say about what David inherited and pushed down? He said, so I destroyed those folks for David's sake, and I healed you because of David. Because David passed down that blessing. So this man got spared because of who was some kin to him. You need to get spared because of who you kin to. Who are you saving right now? Generations to come. How can somebody say 400 years from now that because of Bishop Herman, that's why I'm here today? What can they say about you? What blessings are you passing down? What blessings are you passing down? You got to be like David. Sometimes you got to be the bigger person in a heated situation because somebody depending on your. Somebody gets up early to pray for you. You don't even know it. Somebody has been getting up and you don't know it. Been your mother, your grandmother, your father, your grandfather. But somebody been getting up praying for you. To give you a blessing that you can't retain. For your blessing can be running over to the next generation. Because someone then gave you a chance. See, that's what you do. The Bible says, whatever you find your hands to do, do it. Because every time you find your hands to do what the Lord needs you to do, you get credit for it. I'm telling you, this credit is something else. Y'all better catch hope. As I say, catch fire. Catch fire. So generation later, They be blessed and be better off because you gave them a blessing on their life. So this is a challenge, you know. This is a challenge everybody in here. Not to get sidetracked about the little things that goes on in life. Not trying to be better than the next person. Don't get offended when people talk about you because you got a blessing to pass down. Don't let your blessing get taken from you because you say something. You got a blessing to pass down. And don't you tired of trying to do your best? Be excellent. Go beyond that. Say, no, I got a blessing to pass down. See, you can you can make your life count. Think about it. It's your turn. Yes. So you got to make your life count because it's your turn. It's your turn to pass a blessing. It's your turn to step up for the family. It's your turn to do the right thing because somebody is dependent on you. Somebody dependent on you. I don't know why I'm standing here. And maybe you feel that way because you got a jar of blessings that wasn't a blessing. Maybe the functioning passed down. Bitterness passed down. I don't know. Maybe this was passed down to you. Maybe rude passed down. Hatred, racist. All that stuff was passed down to you. Now, that's what you feel. But you can be the one to stop it today. You can be the one to decide to pass down a blessing. One more story to tell y'all. About a man named Jacob. Y'all know Jacob? The trickster. See, what was passed down to Jacob was the trickster. His mama tricked her husband for the birthrights. Remember that? Jacob tricked his brother, got the birthrights. Jacob's uncle tricked him and had him marry both his daughters. It just kept on passing down. Generation after generation. Trickery, right? And so now here it comes. And Jacob then got old now. He want to go back home. He left his house, after he got them birthrights because Esau said he was going to kill him. So he got them birthrights, got them blessings from Isaac, and he shot out. Didn't come back no more. They got married and had umpteen children. I don't know how many umpteen. That'd be a lot. Yeah, umpteen children, right? We don't know about the how many sons he had. They're on top of the door, but he had 13 of them. They had one named Dana. Got the file. We know that. But the rest of them, we don't know the name of them. And so now he decided he wanted to come back home. He wanted mama and dad to meet his grandkids. But if he come home, Esau going to kill him. So he sent his children and stuff over the side of the river, and he went to the other side of the river and he wrestled with the angel, right? And he kept asking the angel what the name. The angel said, your name is no longer going to be Jacob, which is trickery, but you're going to be a prince. We're going to call you Israel, right? So he get his name changed. He trying to do better. So he said, okay, enough is enough. So he got all these gifts and everything. He sent ahead to give to Esau because he got to go through Esau land to get so smart. So if this joker come back, I come through me. I got all the land around where my parents live. So anyway he come, he got to come through me. So he said all this stuff, and Esau didn't respond back to him. So Jacob said, well, I'm going anyway. So Jacob, he heads off there. And when he sees Esau, put his family to the side. And Jacob falls to his face and starts bowing down. Ground 7 times. The Bible says Esau took off towards him. And when he got there, he threw an arm around him, hugged him, gave him a kiss, and they both started crying. The Bible says weeping. And then after he looked over to the side, he said, Jacob, who are all these folks? Because a bunch of people. He said, that's my family. 13 kids. Esau said, who are all these people? The Bible says Esau said, who are all these people? I mean, That's a lot of folks. Oh my God. And the Bible mentioned Joseph. Little Joseph was there, right? So now let's fast forward 30 years. So 13 years after they betrayed Joseph, right? They threw him in the pit and got sold into slavery. He went to prison, he out, and he over everything, right? Family hit the fan. Now Joseph's brothers have to come and get food from what Joseph had, right? The Bible says that Joseph recognized Joseph. And all of a sudden, this generation of mercy passed down. Because Esau was his uncle, right? So Esau passed down a generation of mercy. Because when Joseph seen them, and he told them who they were, they bowed down to Joseph. Joseph could have had them killed or whatever because he over everything. He didn't have to give them no food. But because he seen how his uncle reacted when his father bowed down, the Bible said that Joseph ran up and hugged his brothers, kissed them, and reaped. I wonder what would have happened if Esau would have killed his father. His brothers probably would have had no chance because he would have took what was passed down to him. That's why you got to be careful how you talk to people in front of your children. How you react when you see somebody on the street, when you see somebody homeless, when you see somebody need something. How you react is how your children might react. So you got to be careful and pass down blessings instead of curses. You got to be, okay. You got to be careful. Y'all don't understand. Y'all got to be careful. You got to be careful. Now I'm going to close with this right here. As I close, can you be the one that passed down kindness, love, and mercy, forgiveness, grace, excellence? You would be there today. So you wouldn't be here today if you wasn't called to be the one to pass down. The only reason you sitting here is a lot of people out today, but the ones that's here, the ones that's listening, the ones that are going to watch this, are dedicated from God to pass down a blessing. So I want you to leave here with a mind to better your family, to better your family line, your children, your children's children, your generation. Beyond the years later, they will still be getting favors from the Lord from what you've done in 2023 and 21-23. Amen.